In another video, I talked about how basically if you're still alive, you're a survivor, and that just simply living on planet Earth takes survival skills. It's just different in our modern Western world what those skills are, the skills that you need to survive. One of the big problems, probably the biggest problem, kind of big picture in our society as far as risk, not the biggest, but it's definitely one that is an issue, is that we are all specialists in that for the most part, most of us do one thing. We have one thing that we specialize in, and that's how we make money. And then we pay other people for every other single thing that we need. And that level of specialization means that if something happens to that one thing that we do, then we're in trouble. Because we are entirely dependent on that one thing that we do to get money, and entirely dependent on all those other people that we pay to get the other stuff that we need and want. And so basically, don't be a specialist as much as possible. All right, so what do I mean by that? I'm not saying, quit your job or stuff like that. But again, it's that mindset. It's realizing your dependence on other people, and how much do you just expect that, well, that's not my job, it's somebody else's job, so I just don't worry about it. So I'm a police officer, I work in patrol, and one of the things that drives me absolutely crazy is fairly regularly we get a call, somebody like, hey, there's a woman with a bunch of kids broke down on the road and just thought you guys would want to know. Well, did you stop? No, I'm just calling to let you know. So I mean, they're being a good Samaritan by calling the police to let them know that a woman and a bunch of kids are broke down on the road. Didn't stop. And that used to really bug me, because I thought, well, why are people so callous that they wouldn't stop? And obviously they realize that they need help, otherwise they wouldn't be calling police. Now, I don't know why they call police anyway. We're not AAA. But anyway, so they had that realization that somebody's in help or needs help. But the thing is, it's not their job, it's somebody else's job. And so they're not going to stop and help because that's somebody else's job. And so they just need to let the people know who they think do that to go out and do their job. And they feel like they've done their good deed for the day by just calling and saying, oh, hey, there's somebody broke down out there. And we have become such specialists that we literally, it's in our mindset of, that's not the thing I do. I only do one thing. This thing that I see that needs to be done, I don't do that. That's not my specialty. So I'll just call whoever I think is responsible for that. And again, that's my theory on it. Maybe they are just too cold-hearted to stop, but I don't think so. I think if they wouldn't call. Those people don't call. These people, they call and then they feel good about themselves for doing a good deed. But I think just because we've become so specialized that we just do our one thing and then rely on somebody else for every other single thing. It works in this kind of corporate mentality robot world where we kind of just become robots and we do our one thing and that's it. But not so well in being prepared for emergencies or being able to handle emergency situations. Most people in America lose their mind in a real emergency situation, because the people who are supposed to come and save them won't be there. And they won't be able to figure out why. Number one, they won't be able to figure out why their cell phone doesn't work. And if it does work, they won't be able to figure out why they can't get a hold of anybody. And if they do get through to 911 emergency dispatch, they're just going to find out that, too bad, there's not enough help to go around. No matter what you think of police, you know, I know there's a big controversy out there. No matter what you think about it, us, the reality is there's very, very few police, firefighters, EMTs, what we would refer to as first responders. In most, you know, even in your huge cities, the numbers are small in comparison to the population. And the numbers of those on duty, most people would be shocked to find out how many, like, as police officers, to find out how many police officers are on duty at any given time in their city. When people find that out, they are dumbfounded. They are blown away. I'm not going to tell you. Number one, I don't know what your city is, but I know that it's a few. It's typically, in the entire department, it's going to be one, maybe two officers per 1,000 people in the city. So on the East Coast, they tend to kind of be heavier. In the West, we tend to be lighter as far as officers, you know, per 1,000 people. Here in the West, it's usually around 1 per 1,000. So in a city of 50,000 people, there's 50 police officers. That's to be total. That's, you know, the chief of police, all the administrators, people that aren't really out there enforcing the law. So in an emergency, and now 50,000 people are all experiencing the same emergency at the same time, and they all want emergency services, and there's 8 or 9 officers on duty. You've got, you know, maybe 1 or 2 fire stations in that city that have crews there, and everybody wants emergency services now. Well, guess what? Everybody's out of luck. There's simply not enough people to respond to your individual emergency. So you can't be that specialist of, well, I just do IT stuff, or I just do whatever I do to get money, and then in an emergency, I need you to come and protect me, save me, you know, rebuild my house or whatever. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Now, obviously, I'm a police officer. I'm not a financial guy. But some things I've heard about finances and investing seem to make sense. Is basically diversify. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. So basically, don't be so specialized that you put all your money into one thing, and then if that market, you know, tanks or crashes or whatever, then you're out. Same kind of thing if you think about emergency preparedness is, what are your skills? What kind of things can you do? How diversified are you at practical living skills, things that people will need help with, things that you and your family are going to need help with? Because you're not going to be able to call somebody to come and do that for you, no matter how much money you have. It won't matter. It won't matter how much cash you have. There just won't be enough people to come and do that for you. So diversify, learn new things, learn new skills. Don't just watch videos, go out and actually do it. Watch videos, learn how, you know, learn the basics, and then go do it. Go teach yourself something new, learn a new skill, something that you can have experience, so that you have experience doing that thing, have an idea of what you need to do. It's just the reality of the world that we live in has become so specialized, and we've become so specialized that when that's upset at all, people are just sitting around waiting for someone to come and save them because they don't know what to do. And they're basically, we are conditioned to the point that it's somebody else's job, and it's not my job, it's your job. I don't know how many times I've had people tell me that people call the police about their own kids, like their kid won't get out of bed. Yeah, people actually call the police about that. And they will tell me, no, it's your job to come and get my kid out of bed. The hell it is. That's your job, mom and dad. But we are at that point that people are so bound and determined that every problem they have is somebody else's responsibility, somebody else's job, that we actually have people calling police when their children are disobedient, won't turn off the Xbox, won't get out of bed and go to school. And then they tell us, that's your job. When I tell them, no, it's not. It's not my job. Not my kids. That's kind of an insight into a reality of where we're at in the United States now. And if you're interested in emergency preparedness, you need to look at your skill set and expand that. It doesn't mean that you quit your job or anything like that, but you expand your skills and knowledge, the things that you can do that are valuable to you, your family, and to other people around you. What kind of value do you contribute to the people around you, or can you contribute? That's, in society prior to, cash money, that's what it was looked at, was what value can you provide to me, and what can we trade? Those are things to look at. Don't be so specialized that your one thing is all that you can do, and that you expect someone to then come save you and your family when hard times hit. There's not enough of us, and the reality is we'll be busy taking care of our own families. How many, that's just a reality of our society isn't set up for large-scale disaster, and that's why when it happens, it's absolute chaos. And it's getting worse because of people's mindset in that they think it's somebody else's responsibility. Don't be that person. Take the time now to expand your skill set, your knowledge, learn new things, diversify, so that you can add value to your family, your neighborhood, your community. Don't be a liability. Most people right now would be a liability to their community. Don't be that person. Be the person that's going to be an asset. So, I've rambled on enough about this, but it's one of those things that drives me crazy, and it's, in my job, I just see it more and more and more. Had a lady called into dispatch. Thankfully, she didn't call 911. Called in and wanted the police to respond and remove a black widow spider from her window. Again, I called her back and told her that's not my job. I'm not coming to remove a black widow spider out of your window. You can do it. Be a big girl and take care of it. So anyway, that's just kind of something I see on a day-to-day basis, something that a trend that disturbs me and bothers me, and just it's for us to each take a look at ourselves and our families and make sure that we're not those people, or that we're not the ones that think it's somebody else's job to come and save us. So I hope that that's not your mindset. If it is, change it. And as always, it's not all the gear you've accumulated that's going to save you. It's what's in your head and in your heart. So see you next time.